First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahawah, Ba'Shem, Yahshai, Ba'Shem, Rakal Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. And a shout out to Yakim that's out there on the four corners of the earth proclaiming this truth. Going out here on the streets and teaching, even though we're near the end of the times where we can be doing this. As we know, net neutrality had ended on Monday. So here it is on Wednesday. And so the time to be doing this is running short, as we know that they're clamping down on what you could say. And we had another false flag in the last couple of days. This time in, I believe, Toronto, where a van just started running down people. We all know this is a Mossad operation, and it was done on purpose because all of a sudden they are pledging allegiance to ISIS, you know, to make you believe the boogeyman, ISIS, is still in existence, even though Bashar al-Assad has been wiping out ISIS. But they want you to believe, though, that they're fighting ISIS, you know, in Syria. And so what's happened is there's been a transference. French troops have also entered into Syria, which we know this is the Valley of Yehoshaphat, you know, which is the Valley of Yahawah's judgment, you know. And so judgment's coming upon all these wicked nations, you know, that divided the land and had scattered us among the four corners of the earth, thus talking about Amalek, the Edomites, you know, who are out there proclaiming that they're the Jews, even though they don't match the biblical description at all. You know, these pale faces don't even match what the others look like that are still in the Middle East. You know, these pale faces, these Amalekites don't even look like, you know, they don't look like they're Syrian. They don't look like they're Lebanese. You know, I'm just talking about the surrounding regions and all that. But who does match that? Blacks, Latinos, Native Americans. But you also have confusion of faces now, because why? We've been scattered among the four corners of the earth, so we're going to look like the other nations. You know, a lot of us are going to have leprosy, looking like the other nations, but yet there's going to be always something there's an attribute, you know. It's kind of like if you watch older movies like Breakin' or, you know, Beat Street, you notice, though, that what was happening, and this is why Esau had purposely changed the outcome of the music, is because confusion of faces were uniting with Israel, and we were all together, and we were happy, you know, and you know, our Hebrew roots were coming out, you know, and so that's why they changed the message that comes out of the music, you know, thus, you know, by changing the whole message, you know. And that's what Esau does, you know. Whenever we try to come together and all that, he always tries to find some sort of way of breaking that up, you know. So that's what was happening in the 80s, and that's why the message of rap music got changed, you know. That's why you've seen other groups like NWA and all them coming out, and the whole message was different, you know. We weren't talking about getting along, you know. But definitely for sure, though, that the fucking police have always oppressed us, you know, so fuck the police. Actually, that was a little more justified than a lot more, but you get what I'm saying, though, that we were starting to come together, just like we're starting to come together now, you know, where we're uniting, you know, together, because we know who our common enemy is. Esau, the so-called white man, and his policies. And so we can see, though, that they never had any intentions whatsoever of getting out of Syria, but no, they want to further escalate things, which is why they're sending in more terrorists from Saudi Arabia into Syria. And you have, you know, them also sending terrorists in through Iraq, which is controlled by the United Socialist States, you know, who protect the terrorists, you know, and are pretty much the convoy for the terrorists. You know, we know that the Air Force is really the protection for the terrorists, which is why this whole false flag happened with the whole so-called chemical attack. But yet, we can prove, and it's not even classified, that the United States uses chemical weapons in their warfare, just like Vietnam. You know, that's not even classified. It's there. It's called Agent Orange. They use chemical warfare to bring down the government of Vietnam, and used it on innocent civilians. So who gasses their people? Who uses chemical warfare? Oh, you thought it was Iraq? Yeah, right. You know, they want you to believe that, you know, that Saddam was gassing his own people, just the same as Syria. You know, it's the same shit, different day. You know, because Esau, you know, he just keeps on in his web of lies, but everybody's starting to wake up to this truth. So here's what's going to happen, though, is that, you know, Esau's going to push the mark of the beast as he's going to deliberately crash the dollar, as you can see now with all these tariffs and sanctions put on Russia and the other nations. They're going to bypass the dollar. Iran has already bypassed the dollar, which is the big reason why the Israeli state, Amalek, is dead set on going after Iran, because of course they're bypassing the dollar. It's all about the money system, because who do you think owns all the money? These goddamn Amalekites and fake ass fucking Jews. So here's what's going to happen though, and is the mark, the RFID implant, is going to be pushed. First the FEMA camps will come. Everybody will be under martial law and subject to pretty much the police regulating everything, and the only way you can buy, sell, or trade will be through the RFID. Everything's going to be pretty much a FEMA camp. These old houses and stuff, going to be turned into FEMA centers. The government's going to take over all that, and so the only way you can buy, sell, or trade is if you receive that mark. And they're going to kill a lot of people over that. But if you receive the mark, that's automatic death sentence, because we know the nuclear weapons are coming. So Revelation 16 is all about that, and I'm just going to read starting in verse 2. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sword upon the men which had received the mark of the beast, which is the RFID implant, and upon them that worshipped his image. All those that support Trump or whoever, make America great again. All those people that worship the system. And the second angel poured out his vial upon the sea, and it became as the blood of a dead man, and every living soul died in the sea. What's that talking about? Well, that's when this place, Babylon the Great, America, becomes the lake of fire through the nuclear war. So everybody will be cast down into that sea, that burning furnace, pretty much. And the third angel poured out his vial upon the rivers, and the fountains of waters, they became blood. I heard the angel of the waters say, Thou art righteous, O Lord, which art and wast, and thus shall, because thou hast judged us. Judged those, that were responsible for everything that happened to our people. That is Babylon the Great, America, and all of them. For they have shed the blood of the saints and prophets, and thou hast given them blood to drink, for they are worthy. Finally, the wrath is going to come against this fucking place, America, and all of its allies. And I heard another out of the Almighty say, Even so, Lord Yahawah, Almighty, true and righteous are thy judgments. And the fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun, and power was given unto them to scorch men with fire. What's that talking about? The fire from them chariots, It was given to us, the elect, the 1/3. When we're up there in the heavens with Yahawah, bringing the judgment against the wicked, the 2/3, and of course these goddamn Edomites and all the other heathens. And men were scorched with great heat and blasphemed the name of Yahawah, which hath power over the plagues, and they repented not to give him glory. And the fifth angel poured out his vial upon the sea of the beast, which is talking about NATO and EU. And his kingdom was full of darkness, and they gnawed their tongues for pain. And they blasphemed the God of heaven because of their pains and their sores, and repented not of their deeds. And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates. Where's that at right now? That's right there between Iraq and Syria, who's over there by the Euphrates? Think about it. Who's there by the Euphrates right now? America, Babylon the Great, in the northern part of Syria. And I saw 3 unclean spirits come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. It's talking about Esau's so-called white men. For they are the spirits of devils working miracles, which go forth upon the kings of the earth and upon the whole world, to gather them to the battle of that great day of Yahawah Almighty. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. That is, those that, actually are listening to this and are repenting and coming back to the Most High, coming back to the law, statutes, and commandments, which can only be the Israelites. And he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon, which means mountain of troops. So pretty much this mountain of troops, You know, Yahawah Shai is going to gather his elect. And the seventh angel poured out his vial into the air, and there came a great voice out of the temple of heaven from the throne saying, "It is done." Again, you know, that is when we're with Yahawah Shai, bringing the judgment upon all those that took the mark and pretty much are part of the beast, the UN, NATO, and the EU. And there were voices and thunders and lightnings, and there was such a great earthquake, such as was not since men were upon the earth, so mighty an earthquake and so great. That's when all these 200 million nuclear missiles hit this fucking place and destroy it with great fire. And the great city was divided into three parts, and the cities of the nations fell. And great Babylon came in remembrance before Yahawah to give her up the cup of wine of the wrath of his fierceness. Every island fled away, and the mountains were not found. And there fell upon men a great hail out of heaven. And this is talking about that great millstone that came out of heaven. Thus, the elect, the 1/3. You know, when we brought judgment on this place, Babylon the Great, America. Every stone about the weight of a talent, and men blasphemed Yahawah because of the plague of the hail. For the plague thereof was exceedingly great. So, you know, this place is about to be destroyed. You know, and it's been exposed for all of its iniquities. Everybody knows that there was no chemical weapon attack in Duma. You know, the whole world knows that great Satan is America, Babylon the Great. So I hope this has been edifying, and we should be looking forward to this, you know, because that great day is coming when we shall be beamed up with Yahawah Shai, bringing the judgment against all those that partake in the iniquities of America, Babylon the Great. Shalom.